I want to make sure my collage is in the frame because I worked hard on it. That's good enough. Hey guys, it's Natalie, and today we are doing okay, not today, I already messed up. This week I'm going to be participating in the sapphicathon, which is a read-a-thon where you read only female books, which is great because I have been meaning to read a lot of female books, but I just haven't gotten around to them. Like, I always seem to have something that I need to read before them. So this is a good opportunity for me to just clear my TBR and just read all the female books that I've been meaning to read for so long. I put dots under my eyes. I don't know if they look stupid or cool. I've actually never done a read-a-thon before, so I don't really know how it works. I don't know if maybe I was supposed to tell people that I was going to be participating before I jumped into it, but I did not do that. But I'm here, so I'm doing it. There is a list of like categories of books that you're supposed to read during the read-a-thon, but I didn't have books that fit in a lot of those categories, so I decided I'm just gonna read 7 random books, like my choice books that are female, so I hope that that's okay with you. I don't know what to tell you. And so I will give you my brief TBR and then we'll just jump into it. It's gonna be like a semi-vlog, but I also suck at vlogging, so the first book I want to read is This Is How You Lose the Time War, and it is, from what I understand, it is about these 2 girls during a time war. They're on different sides of the war, and I don't really know what a time war entails, but I really am into like physics and space and stuff. I'm a big nerd, if you haven't realized from my channel already, so I'm really excited about this one. I have very high hopes. I think it is a Romeo and Juliet retelling because they're on the different sides of the war, but they have a forbidden romance, which I'm into. I like it. The next one I want to read is The Witches of Ashton by E. Tamir, and that one is about witches. And I don't really know, I'm explaining these really badly, but I don't really know much about them yet because I haven't read them. But anyway, I'm excited about this one. I like witches. I like a good witch book. I think this one is based off of a Celtic mythology, which I don't know very much about, so I am interested to see that aspect of the story and like if there's any mythology involved. That'll be really cool. The next one I want to read is the Henna Wars, and that one is about, I think, also a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing, where these 2 girls start rival henna tattoo shops and they like fall in love, obviously, and I am excited about that one. I've heard really good things about this, and I've just heard that this one's really good. This is the most like romance genre book on my TBR because I don't typically read romance genre, so I'm kind of, you know, stepping out of my comfort zone for this one, but I have heard really good things and I am excited about it. The next one I want to read is Gideon the Ninth, and this one is about a necromancer, which already is a very interesting premise. And I don't really know very much about this at all. Like, I basically don't know what it's about. This book has been in my like to read folder forever, so it's good that I'm finally getting around to it. The next one is Ceremonials, which is a novella based off of Florence and the Machine's album. And I love Florence and the Machine. I actually have their album on vinyl. This is not the album that it's based off of. This album is great though. And I really like Florence Welch. She's a very cool lady. From what I can see of like the reviews and the description, this is kind of a poetic form, like lyrical prose maybe you would call it. And I haven't read a whole lot of that, so I'm very excited to read it. The next one is The Midnight Lie, and I honestly do not know what this one is about, but it was recommended to me. Someone told me that they thought I would like it, so I'm gonna read it, and I hopefully will like it. The cover is really cool, and that alone entices me, so maybe I am judging this book just by the cover, but I think I'm gonna like it. The last book is the only one that I have in hard copy, which is The Priority of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. And this book is much bigger than I thought it would be. So I'm gonna read this one last because I know it's gonna take me the longest amount of time and I want to get through as many of these as I can. So I might not finish this one by the time the read-a-thon's over, but this book, I also don't know what it's about, but it has a dragon on the cover. So I'm thinking it might be a fantasy, and I also just like the dragon, so I am already sold. The cover is beautiful. The artwork is so pretty, and it's kind of like metallic, so it catches the light really nicely. I'll let you see it. Can you see it? I'm maybe the most excited about this one, but it's also the one that I'm probably not going to finish, so that's just how it goes. Anyway, I'm super excited to get started, and yeah. Hi again. So I finished This Is How You Lose the Time War last night, and it wasn't really my thing. I don't know. I really wanted to like it. A lot of the storytelling was through letters that were written between the two characters, and I'm just not really a fan of letter writing as a form of storytelling. But I will admit that the letters were very interesting, and the writing was great. Like, the writing style was really nice. There was some really beautiful descriptions in there, and it was really nice to read. I just didn't really, I don't know, the plot wasn't really it for me. I felt like the characters weren't really that developed, which was weird because it was such a character-driven story, but I still felt like the characters were not super complex. The time war itself was not really developed. Like, I didn't know why they were fighting it or what either of the sides wanted the outcome to be. I knew they wanted to win, but I didn't really understand what winning entails, which I feel like is an issue for me, at least. I liked the second half of the book a lot more than the first half. The first half, I felt like they were just kind of wandering around, but the second half started to actually have stakes, and it started to feel more tense and more important, and I really liked that. But today I'm starting Witches of Ash and Ruin, and hopefully I will enjoy that one a bit more. I love a good witch, so I'm like 5 chapters into Witches of Ash and Ruin, and I really like it so far. It's got these like creepy vibes and these religious overtones that I think are really neat, and I'm enjoying it so far, yeah. The story does a good job of taking witchcraft and stuff and putting it into a modern setting. I think it actually works really well. I wasn't super sure about how I would like the modern time period with all the magic and stuff, but I actually think it is good. I keep forgetting that it takes place in Ireland, which is a fact that I find very distracting, because every time I remember that it takes place in Ireland, I start trying to imagine the dialogue in an Irish accent, and then I spend a lot of time imagining an Irish accent and not actually reading. I would do one for you if I thought that I could, but I cannot, so I won't. The love interest in this punches walls, and I am gonna make fun of her for it, because we make fun of white boys for punching walls. I'm gonna make fun of this white girl for punching walls. It's gender equality. I just finished Witches of Ash and Ruin, and I liked it. It was like a 3.5-ish star read for me, and I thought it was well written. I thought it had some interesting concepts in it. I liked most of the characters. I feel like the relationship between the two characters was not that developed, but that's fine because the book was very plot heavy, so obviously like the romance kind of took a back seat, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. I thought the plot was good. So one of the girls, the like love interest girl, but she was also the main character, her name was Minor, and she like straight up had anger issues, and I just personally am not really into that. I think I'm either gonna start the Henna Wars or Gideon the Ninth today. We'll keep you updated on that. I actually decided on reading the Henna Wars next. I'm like 2 pages in, and this book also takes place in freaking Ireland. How am I supposed to cope with that? This book also touches on subtle everyday racism from people who really don't intend harm, but it is harmful anyway, and I think that's really strong. I think it's really good. I really like this book so far. It's really good. I do unfortunately hate all the characters except the main character and her sister right now, but you're not supposed to like the other characters yet because they're all being a little bit ignorant. But I really hope that the love interest, Flaviana, comes around pretty soon, because I can't like her yet, and I want to be rooting for this couple, but I can't yet. So I'm hoping she changes soon. I just finished the Henna Wars and a bitch is about to cry. I'm the bitch. So I finished the Henna Wars. It was great. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. It was really cute. It was really fun. And I just really enjoyed it, and I would highly recommend it. I myself am not Muslim, clearly, so I can't really speak to how accurate it is in that sense, but the author is Muslim, so I trust that she did a good job with it, but I can't personally speak to that. Yeah, I would recommend this book, but it does have themes of racism and homophobia and outing. But I think that those are done very tastefully. I thought it was really well done. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit behind in my read-a-thon now because I took a break to read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes for my video, and now I'm behind, but I'm hoping to kind of pick up the pace now. I started reading The Midnight Lie, and I'm like 5 chapters in, and they're pretty short chapters, but still I really like it so far. I really like the writing style, I like the characters so far, and I like all the concepts that are being introduced in like the first few chapters. I think it's really interesting. So yeah, I will keep you updated on that one. So, today is the last day of the sapphicathon. I feel like I've kind of failed because I've only finished 4 books, and all because I had to take a break for this stupid Hunger Games prequel, and what did I gain? Anyway, I finished The Midnight Lie last night, and I really liked it a lot. It was this really interesting fantasy series. It takes place in this world where the people are separated by their social class. So like the very poor people, which is what our protagonist was, are in this part of the city that is walled off from the rest, and the main character is a forger who forges passports for people to move into the middle class area of the city. And she's really cool. I really like this book. I really like the characters. They were very interesting. I gave this book 5 stars. I really liked it. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give any spoilers, but it was just, there were some really interesting concepts that were introduced in this book. Like the very poor people, whenever they commit a crime, the soldiers are able to take a part of their body as like compensation or like as the punishment. And so there's this one girl they mention who gets her eyelashes clipped off so that the rich ladies can make false eyelashes, and like they're able to take blood or organs or hair from any of the people that they arrest, which I think is really interesting because they then use the thing that they took from the poor people and give it to the rich people, which is a very strong statement about the way that the upper class treats the lower class. I think it's very interesting. So like if a person commits a very severe crime, they can have an organ taken from them, and that organ will be used as a transplant for someone in the upper class. Very cool, very interesting. I really liked it. I liked the characters. I liked the world. I would recommend this book. And last night I started reading Gideon the Ninth, which is about this girl named Gideon in this like necromancy house, I don't know, and this other girl named Harrow, who I assume is the love interest, but I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm only like 5 chapters in. I do like it so far. I like the world that it is creating. I didn't realize when I started this book that it takes place in space. Like they're on a foreign planet, they have to like go to a different planet. I didn't know it was like a sci-fi, but I am into it. I'm planning on finishing Gideon the Ninth tonight and starting The Priority of the Orange Tree, which I absolutely will not finish today because it's like 700 pages. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this experience so far. I really liked mostly all of the books that I've read, and you know, it was time for me to read more female books, so this has been really fun. I really enjoyed it. And oh, I had to take ceremonials off my TBR because I found out that there isn't an electronic copy available, like at all, on Amazon. There's no Kindle version, so I should have looked at that before I said I was gonna read it, but I did not, so I can't read it now because it's not gonna come in the mail in time. I'm still gonna read it, just later. Yeah, so that's all I have at the moment. See you later. It's possible I'm wrong that Harrow is the love interest because there's actually a lot of characters. There weren't in like the first 5 chapters when I last talked to you, but now there's a lot of characters and I'm not sure anymore. But I like Harrow a lot. I think she's fun. She's mean, but I kind of like that. And I think they have like a fun little rivalry dynamic that I think would be a fun like enemies to lover thing. So I hope that Harrow is the love interest, but I'm not confident anymore. I also got new glasses. They kind of look exactly like my old glasses, but they are new and they have blue light blocking. Incredible. I'm kind of really into the relationship between the 2 characters. The plot is like maybe a little bit all over the place. Maybe not my favorite plot, but I do really like the characters and therefore I like this book. I just want them to kiss. The dialogue is kind of weird at times. The author uses a bunch of slang words and stuff, but it's pretty clear that the author themselves has never used these slang words, and that's not like shade or anything. It's just, I can tell this was written by someone older than the characters, but they still try to like sound like they're teen, like hip, you know? And you know, some of it I think is funny. Like some of the dialogue I'm like, that's good, that was funny, and I laughed. But other times it's like, wow. I realized that I actually never sat down to talk about Gideon the Ninth after I finished it, so here I am. I liked this book a lot. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would because I'm a character person. I like stuff that is character driven, and the story is very plot driven. The characters are good, and I liked the characters, but it was a very plotty book, which is fine if that's what you're into. But I'm just kind of a character driven person. I like really deep and complex characters, and I like books where sometimes not a whole lot happens and it's just about the characters. And I realize that this is the exact opposite of the criticism that I had for This Is How You Lose a Time War. And I guess what I like is a balance. I like a balance between the plot and the characters, but leaning toward the characters, but still a good plot. I think that The Midnight Lie did this pretty well. I don't know, this book was very plotty. I still like it. I still would recommend it. I think I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, which is high. So, yeah, I think this was a good book. I really liked it. But if I had to choose a favorite of the ones that I read, it would probably be either the Henna Wars or the Midnight Lie. I think those are the two that I gave 5 stars, and I just really liked both of them. So okay, so I realized that I'm definitely not gonna finish The Priority of the Orange Tree before I need to post this video, which, okay, this book is thick, but I'm still gonna read this book and I'll talk about it in a later video. I'll probably do a recent reads video eventually where I'll talk about it in more detail, in any detail at all. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some recommendations if you were looking for them. And if you liked it, please leave a like. If you've read any of these books or you want to read any of these books, let me know, and maybe consider subscribing if you want. Anyway, that's the end of the video.